sent me.
And we'll do that.
They'll be confused.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much.
You.
All right, now to back to school rules and legal issues. Here's John.
We are blending Trial Tuesday with Low Country Live's Back to School Week. Now, did you ever stop and think that a child's conduct at school could lead to some legal trouble? Well, attorney David Aylor is here with much more on that side. Thank you for being here, Counselor. We appreciate it. Let's talk about some things that can get kids into trouble at school. A lot of headlines have been made for kids bringing weapons into school, and that can definitely lead to some legal troubles.
Absolutely, and it doesn't even have to be weapons actually into the school. It can be in their vehicles. Sometimes, you know, people will drive their parents' car, maybe there's a hunting rifle in it or something like that. Next thing you know, they're in trouble, getting suspended. But any type of weapon, you know, it goes beyond just guns and, you know, rifles and things like that, knives, anything that you can think of that would seem to be inappropriate at a school is probably more than likely going to be considered a weapon, and then you're going to, you know, face initially the issues with the school and then maybe also with the local police agency.
Is there any argument to that fact that, oh, this is my parents' car, or I didn't know it was in there, it's in the parking lot, it's not even in the building?
No, there's not. No different than there would be if you had cigarettes or any kind of tobacco in your car or any kind of alcohol. I mean, the bottom line is when you go onto the school campus, a public school that is, they have the right to search your car. And a lot of times they'll take dogs through the parking lot. They, you know, hit something they smell on, they're going to come and search the car. And if there's something in that car, whether it may legitimately not be yours, unfortunately it just doesn't work that way. It becomes yours, and then, you know, that person could be in trouble. Even if mom or dad's willing to say, hey, you know, those were my cigars and my gun or whatever it is. So people are, you know, sometimes just don't think about that type of thing, and then they really get caught up in it.
Another issue that we've certainly heard a lot about is those off-campus parties that, say, high school kids will have at parents' homes. And those parents are liable, but also the kids are getting in trouble at school for having those parties at their homes.
You know, it's an interesting sort of blend how they're the school gets involved in those type of things. But what ends up happening a lot of the times, and you know, prior to when maybe you were in school where maybe the parties went on, but it wasn't something that got out by either the computer as much to word of mouth. But now what they'll do is they'll look at from, you know, was this something that started at school, something that was spread at school and almost promoted, if you will, within the school. And then that's where they're going to look back to see, you know, should there be some sort of punishment at school, even though the party was all school grounds.
Yeah, let's talk about some more minor offenses just in school. Let's say someone gets sent to the principal's office, or they're going to be suspended for a week. A lot of parents are trying to challenge that now through the district in legal processes. Do they have any right to do that? They
absolutely do. And the school, most school districts have a process that they go through as far as, you know, trying to appeal, if you will, any type of punishment that a student gets. A lot of folks hire attorneys for that to help them along the way. The school district most definitely is going to have an attorney. And, you know, that makes a difference as far as going all the way to the end and exhausting your appeals, even if you don't end up winning them, particularly if there ends up being maybe later a criminal side or a civil side to it.
What are some of the things that you've seen from students that can lead to legal problems in the justice world?
Well, I would say one that's, you know, pretty common now that wasn't even maybe 10 or 15 years ago is fighting, where it used to be if a couple people get in a fight, you know, 2 or 3 people, or it doesn't have to be a large group, where it would be you'd get suspended, put in detention, that sort of thing. All punishments you would think of. Right. Now they're charging them. You know, they'll charge them even as minors, of course, you know, with some sort of assault and battery, that sort of thing. And a lot of people, that just really takes them back to, you know that that'll happen. But then, of course, you know, small things such as, you know, small possessions of marijuana and things like that, they're going to get in a lot of trouble with the school, and they're absolutely going to have some criminal responsibility for it too.
Touch on bullying, because that's such a huge issue now in this fight.
You know, and the bullying both in school and then off school grounds, again, as we talked about, but through the social media network is huge. And you see that in different schools, and different schools have different policies. But schools are a lot more sensitive now, particularly due to, you know, suicide and different things like that and depression issues that come from it. But you absolutely can get some school effects from what you may be doing on the social media.
Yeah, so as you head back, you might want to be careful and rethink those decisions. Attorney David Aylor, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it, sir.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back with more Low Country Live in just a moment.